Hello, this is Bullet, aka the Passive Aggressive Sherpa. In today's video, it's time for a little Christmas Eve rant about Destiny 2, Bungie, and the rest of the suck that is my life. In this video, I hope to cover my positive thoughts and my not so positive thoughts on Destiny 2, Bungie, and why I'm still playing. The video you're watching is either all from a Crucible Mayhem match yesterday, and maybe some other stuff. It all depends on how long this rant runs. I'm running some tests. I have to play the Crucible. I don't have a choice. If I did, I wouldn't be playing Mayhem, but I'll get into that later. I made a video the other day, and I didn't post it. It's not finished, but I laid down the audio, and it just needs to be edited. But I don't know if I'll ever post it. I've tried to make this video several times, and it just gets too personal. So this video is an attempt to be a mini version of that video, a slightly less personal video. In the beginning, I hated Destiny. I'm not big into science fantasy stuff. I used to love Call of Duty because it was gritty. When you shot people, blood spewed across the walls. It was awesome. But then knifing became a thing and people could swing across the room and kill you while you fired fully automatic weapons into them and they wouldn't die. I suffered through it. Then came the quickscopers. It began as a glitch, but soon it became a thing the game promoted, a thing that overtook the game. I suffered through it. All my friends had long since left Call of Duty. I was the sole survivor of the group. But that too changed a few years back. The new Xbox One had come out, and so did the new Call of Duty. I was one of those geeks that would be at Walmart at midnight to pick up the game when it was released. I did that every year for years. I don't recall specifically which Call of Duty it was that finally made me quit, but it was the one that introduced the exosuit. I hated it. We were all jumping around and floating like mean fairies with guns. It was like Halo, but with fewer aliens and better gun sounds. It sucked more than words can describe. I put several hours into the game and the map sucked. The game itself was horrid. I just finally gave up on it. A couple of summers later, they had said they were going to bring back a remastered version of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The problem, I couldn't really afford the new Xbox One. I thought about getting it a few times. I'd kind of told myself that I would get it for Christmas, gift myself it. But other expenses came up and it just wasn't going to happen. But I wanted it so bad. Now, before I continue along that line, it's important to note that while this was going on, my health was not the best. Spending nearly 2 decades working from home, behind a desk for 10, 12, 18 hours a day or more, I got fat. I didn't see it for the longest time. I was aware I'd put on some weight, but I just never noticed it much. I didn't realize how fat I had become. That was until I was finally able to afford health insurance a few years back. I learned that I was now officially morbidly obese, that I suffered from sleep apnea, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and more. In fact, my blood pressure and sleep apnea were so bad, my doctor estimated that I hadn't hit REM sleep in more than a decade. He honestly wondered how I hadn't snapped and killed people, or how I hadn't died of a heart attack years ago. It turns out I binge eat. I work a lot. But when I would take breaks, a couple times a day, I would sit in front of the TV and binge watch horror movies or catch up on my favorite TV shows for a few hours, with each break eating the entire time. Now, cut to about 1 year ago. It was a few days before Christmas, and I got an instant message from my part-time boss and best friend, Medium. He lives in Florida. I now sadly live in Arizona, a state so overwhelmingly shallow that I've stepped into puddles with greater depth. And the city I now reside, Bullhead, is so full of so many dim-witted morons, the combined IQ rivals that of a potato. Anyways, he asks for my physical address. He says he wants to send me something for Christmas, and not to get my hopes up. It's nothing big, he promises. I give him my address, and I don't get my hopes up. That is, until a few nights later when the UPS guy knocks on my door carrying a pretty big box. I instantly know what it is. I tell myself it's not what you think it is. And I repeat that mantra all the way to my tiny office. I sit slowly in my recliner and open it. To my surprise, it was what I thought it was. A brand new Xbox One S. I fought back tears. I don't believe a tear actually fell, If it did, I would totally say so, because chicks dig a sensitive guy. I talked to Medium. He tells me there's a catch. I have to buy this game Destiny. I didn't want to, but sure, I got that and the remastered version of Modern Warfare. I played Modern Warfare for a few weeks, but in that time, 2 or 3 nights a week, Medium and our mutual friend Milo would jump on and play Destiny for a few hours. I hated every minute of it. I loved getting to hang out with my friends, but I hated Destiny. I had no idea what the hell was going on. I was dying every 30 seconds. It sucked. I couldn't wait for them to say they were tired and getting offline so I could go back to Modern Warfare. Then one night, I decided that I would keep playing Destiny. I thought maybe if I ran through some of the stories I could rank up and they wouldn't have to spend all their time reviving me and maybe I wouldn't die so much. I'd run some of the story missions with them, but they had always skipped the cutscenes, so I had no idea what in the hell was going on. When I started running them alone, I played the cutscenes, and soon I was enthralled. I couldn't stop playing. It took a while before I could even admit I was hooked on Destiny. Over the course of the past year, I got to the point where I was soloing Nightfalls. I eventually soloed all but one of them. Soloing Nightfall and Nightfalls in general were the best part of the game for me. Every week, Medium, Milo, and myself, we'd end up running Nightfall on each character. It was the best of times for me. Then July came and brought with it the Destiny 2 beta. We were promised so much. I was excited for it. Then the beta came out, and it was all kinds of horrible. Almost everyone I followed was praising it. Medium hated it. Milo didn't get to play it that I recall, but I was not happy. It was so bad. In fact, Medium, he played it once and never played it again. I made a video about it, a foul-mouthed rant about how bad it sucked. I tried to explain between F-bombs why it was so horrible, but most of the community seemed to forgive how bad it sucked. Most were praising this turd. I will admit, there were some things in the beta that I hated that I now love. Bungie and the community kept promising that the full game would be amazing. Well, that never happened. Slowly, the community is mostly turned away from the game. Everything about the Crucible and Nightfall that I said sucked are now being said by those who praised it back then. And after the game was released, some of those diehard fans, they refused to admit how bad it sucked. Me, on the other hand, I have mixed feelings about it. There were a great many things I love about it. What they did to Nightfall was tragic. There used to be about a dozen people I subscribed to on YouTube that would solo it every week. Now there's 2. For us, it was the best part of the game. Bungie hasn't even mentioned it. All they talk about is the raid and occasionally trials, and sometimes the Crucible. But for people like me, Nightfall was the gold standard. Soloing it was a platinum event. It was the pinnacle that is now gone. And in the 15 weeks we've had Destiny 2, the community isn't divided. There is no division. Mostly everyone is disappointed. There are a few that are still clinging to hope, that are still staying positive. I respect that to a point, but here's the thing. It doesn't do Bungie any good. It wasn't until everyone started to complain that they finally started to listen. But they still haven't heard us. Oh, they say they've heard us, but they haven't. They keep screwing shit up. They keep changing what doesn't need to be changed and adding shit that doesn't need to be added. We tell them, add new mods. Maybe let us add 2 mods to a weapon. What do we get? Masterworks. About the most useless thing I've ever seen. Don't get me wrong, this would have been a fun thing to add to a weapon system that worked. It would have been the cherry on top. But instead of Bungie listening to us, they gave us a cherry on top of this pile of crap. With the laughable expansion pack, we got reskinned weapons and gear, a few new weapons, but one of them was so broke they had to make an update to fix it. Then there's the new Xur, faded engrams, and new legendary 3 coins. And guess what? Both of those are broken. What a surprise! Then comes the Dawning and Mayhem in the Crucible. All of us were so excited. And then that's broke too as we discover the Warlock's super glitch. So what did Bungie say about the 3 coins being broken? Well, they say it's not really broken, except for the fact that it doesn't work in the heroic strikes. So what that tells me is that when the Curse of Osiris was released, Bungie lowered the rate of exotic engrams dropping in the game. And I'm not the only one that noticed this. We figured that it was because the new 3 coins would be out the following week. We were mostly good with it. Then, we all started using 3 coins when they came out. And everyone was complaining about the lack of exotic drops while using 3 coins. The Dawning is supposed to be a gift to the community. What is it? Well, it's pretty much all crap. Yes, making snowballs is fun, but hiding almost all the new stuff behind a pay-to-play system is bullshit. And their response is yet again the same as always. We promise, we're listening, we're going to fix this. Oh, but that Warlock super glitch? Well, that's not going to be fixed anytime soon, and neither is the Three of Coins. Why? Because while the community is tearing itself apart, Bungie will be taking a vacation. And I find that offensive. We should all find that offensive. We should be screaming. I don't want to see Bungie working over the holidays because we're complaining. I want to see them working because they love the game as much as we do. I want to see them working because they promised us so much and have failed to deliver on almost every promise they made to us. And yet, they're all home for the holidays, and we're still left with a broken game while they enjoy family time with the millions and millions we've spent on them. So why do I still play Destiny 2 if I'm so pissed off at the continued disrespect Bungie shows its community? That's a good question, and for that I have to go back to my health issues. I was told in early December of last year that if my number didn't improve by my next doctor's appointment, I would have to go on insulin. This would mean having to give myself a shot every single day. I promised I would work harder, and I would get my blood sugar in check. Well, what did happen was that I gave up. I stopped checking my blood sugar. It always sucked. Nothing I did changed it. I had truly given up. All my ups were given. Then something happened towards the end of January. For some reason, I decided to take my blood sugar levels again. They were about 100 points lower than usual. Still high, but so much better. I started taking my blood sugar regularly again, and the numbers kept getting better and better. 2 months later at my next appointment, I'd lost 24 pounds and my blood sugar was mostly at normal levels. Still taking a ton of pills every day, but my diabetes and blood pressure was under control. It took me a while to realize what it was. It was because I wasn't eating as much. I was playing Destiny all the time. Every break from work, I was playing Destiny. When I ate my normal size meals, but instead of having seconds all the time, or binge eating for hours while I watched movies, I went back to work or right back into the game. I had lost almost 50 pounds by the time Destiny 2 came out. However, as much as I played Destiny 2, with the lack of things to do in the game, I'm not playing as much. Nightfall mostly sucks, so I'm watching more TV and movies again, and that means I'm binge eating again. My blood sugar has gone up. It's not horrible, and I haven't gained all the weight back, but I know I put some of it back. You see, when Medium got me this Xbox and made me play Destiny, the two things combined literally saved my life. I owe so much to Medium and the game of Destiny that I could never fully repay that debt. And there are so many things about Destiny 2 that I love, but it's just like Bungie is trying to destroy the game. I have little faith that they can bring it back to its old glory. And this terrifies me because I don't want to go back to the way I was. I haven't cured the anxiety issues that I suffer from, and I certainly haven't cured my binge eating, but through playing Destiny, I have learned to better control these things. So when Bungie seems to care less about the game than I do, it pisses me off. I can't help but take it personally. This game saved my life. Yes, I could find another game, and to be honest, I've played a couple other games. And I've watched videos of other games I haven't played. And so far, nothing has excited me like Destiny has. Nothing seems to have the magic that Destiny has. I'm hoping that Bungie will truly hear what we're saying. But it's like every step they take is 2 steps back. They keep screwing shit up and they keep promising they will fix it. And they don't. I don't know how much longer I can keep going. Just yesterday I spent about 3 hours watching TV, and most of that time was eating. I kept thinking to myself, you need to get back into the game. Start collecting those masterworks. But that's just so boring. It's a whole lot of effort for something that's mostly useless. I don't give a shit that every 2 kills it drops an orb that I may or may not need. There's no quest left. It's all been done and redone. Curse of Osiris has been out for 2 weeks, and I've done it all. Except for the raids, but that's a rant for another time. So I'll say it again. Bungie, please, please, please listen. Hear us, and then whatever you think about doing, assume it's wrong and ask the community first. If you're not going to hire me to lead you in the right direction, get some honest input. Talk to those that love raids. Talk to those that love Nightfall. And talk to those that love the Crucible. They will give you the information you need to know to fix this broken game. And that's it for this video. I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas or holiday or whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate. And if you like this video, and are looking for more moderately informative and entertaining stuff, please like and subscribe. Seriously, every like and subscribe makes me feel like I'm not really just talking to myself. Once again, this is Bullet, aka the Angry Sherpa, aka the Passive Aggressive Sherpa. And if we could get 2,287 likes on this video, that'd be great. Thanks for watching.